welcome to Making the Best of It, a daily video series helping you make the best of your time at home. Today we'll be making paper catapults. Now I love working with paper because we usually think of paper as being something that's super weak and fragile, but if you use it the right way you can make some pretty cool stuff. Stay tuned to see how to make your own.
For this project you'll need some plain paper, any kind will do. Something like a pen or pencil that you can wrap paper around. You can see I'm using this thin Expo marker, some scissors, some tape, and some glue. Start by ripping off small pieces of tape. Eventually you'll need 11 of these. Then we'll start making the main building blocks of our catapult by rolling paper up. Take your pen or pencil and use it as something that you can roll the paper around. The reason we are using a pen or pencil or whatever to do this is so that all of our paper tubes end up being about the same size. Once you've finished rolling up your first piece of paper, the marker should fall out and you can use a piece of tape to seal it closed. The reason we're rolling the paper up like this is because paper is actually quite strong in rolls. You'll need 10 of these small paper rolls, so go ahead and make 9 more. Once you finish making your 10 small rolls, the next step is to use one of those small rolls as the basis for a slightly larger roll. This larger roll is going to be used as the hinge point of our catapult. So when you are rolling it, make sure it's just a little bit bigger than the small roll. To test it out, you can wiggle the small roll in and out of it just to make sure that it will be able to spin. To make all of these rolls a little bit sturdier, I went through and put hot glue on both edges of the paper. You might be able to get away with just using tape on these, but I decided to go with hot glue. You are now ready to start building your structure. Take 4 small rolls and arrange them in a square. This is going to be the base of your catapult, and you want to glue together the back roll with the 2 side rolls, but do not attach that front roll. I made that mistake my first time and I ended up having to take it apart. Next, we're going to build up the sides of our catapult by attaching 2 rolls vertically in the center of our square. Make sure you hold these until they are completely dry because they do have a tendency to fall over. Once they are mostly dry, you can go back and add a little bit more glue for some extra security. These upright poles are going to take quite a bit of force, so we want to make sure they stay steady. You might notice that my crossbar is already attached at this point. Don't do that quite yet. I ended up having to undo that. Once you're done with that, cut 2 small tubes in half. We'll be using these as supports. Glue 2 supports on each side, making a triangle. Triangles are really strong shapes, so we like to use them whenever possible. And I put it so that I have 1 support on the inside and 1 support on the outside for both sides of my catapult. Now we are finally going to glue on the front part of our base, slide the larger tube onto it, and make sure that it is not going to get stuck on your support beams, and then glue it in place. After that, glue a small tube to that hinge, that larger tube we just put around the front. This one takes a little while to dry, so make sure you get it nice and stable before you let go. The next step is to measure out your crossbar, so put it up next to your vertical supports and mark off a space that's just a bit longer than the space between them. Then cut off the excess. Next, you want to glue on your crossbar, and as you do this, you want to try to make it so that the arm of your catapult, that small tube we just attached to the hinge, is at a 45-degree angle when it is touching that crossbar. You also want to be sure that the arm is underneath the crossbar. Then you want to take a rubber band and tie a girth hitch, which you can watch me do right here, onto that crossbar, and then stretch it out to attach it to your arm. Once you do that, you should be able to see your arm spring back up when you pull it down and let go. Next, we need to make the basket for our catapult. I do this by cutting out about a 2" by 2" square of paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can just cut in on each of the corners just a little bit. And we're going to overlap those to make the sides of our basket. Put a little bit of glue on one side of the corner, and then rotate the other side of the corner so that it overlaps, and this will kind of build up that corner so it has a little bit of a wall. Keep doing that for the next 3 corners and you'll have your basket. For the final step, you can attach your basket to the arm of your catapult. Just put a little bit of hot glue on the back of it and press it onto the far end of the arm. You're all ready to practice launching. Great job, everyone. Now go have some fun testing it.